Patria, Minerva, and Maria Teresa Mirabal are the three women that are responsible for the downfall of the dictator Rafael Trujillo in the Dominican Republic in 1961. There are many factors to this event, but society has recognized the sisters as the original spark. The three women were born in 1924, 1927, and 1935 in Cibao. Cibao was known to be a prosperous valley in the Dominican Republic for its agriculture, so the young women were born into privilege. The family had a normal life until they had attended a ball that Trujillo was hosting. Trujillo was known to have several mistresses during his dictatorship, even though he was married. The majority of the women were younger, and they were not able to refuse his advances due to his power. Trujillo had become attracted to Minerva and had asked her to dance with him. Minerva had refused his advances during the dance, but he did not stop. She would then make the decision that would alter history. She had decided to slap him. Unbeknown to the Mirabal family, this would be the beginning of the fall of Trujillo. The family faced severe harassment and imprisonment as punishment for this action. Their father would be imprisoned, and the family itself would be blacklisted from the community. The Mirabal sisters had refused to stay silent, and they had decided to start a movement. The women all married activists within the community, and they all created the 14th June movement. Minerva reportedly said, "If in Cuba it has been possible to bring down the dictatorship, then in our country, with so many anti-Trujillo youth, we can do the same." The group was planning to attack Trujillo on January 21st, 1960, during a cattle fair, but they were arrested. The movement they had created was the largest threat that Trujillo had ever encountered during his regime. The members were then quickly tortured for information, but public outrage grew for this action. The United States ordered sanctions against the Dominican Republic after the assassination attempt of Venezuela's president, and the Catholic Church also took a strong stance against the regime. The women were released due to pressure from the United States and the Catholic Church, but the sisters' husbands were still in jail. Trujillo had become frustrated by these turn of events and had decided that he needed to fix the source of his problems, the Mirabal sisters. On November 25, 1960, the sisters were heading home after visiting their husbands in jail. Their family and friends had warned them not to go, since they were afraid that it was a trap. The husbands had been transferred to a prison that was more isolated. Their family was right, since the sisters were ambushed on the way back home. The military had suddenly stopped the vehicle and ordered them to get out. The military would then continue to beat and strangle the sisters to death. In order to cover the evidence, they had placed the sisters back in their car. They then forced the car over the side of a mountain to make it look as if they had driven it off of it themselves. The military did not realize that Patria had managed to spot another driver and told them that they were going to be killed by the military. The driver went back to town, and everyone knew what happened. Public outrage grew, and Trujillo was assassinated by military leaders on May 30th, 1961. Belica Adela would be the only surviving sister of the Mirabal family since she was not politically active. She would also then continue to care for her sister's children. The sisters grew to become icons in the Dominican Republic, and they have numerous memorials and tributes throughout the country. The first Latin America and Caribbean Feminist Conference proposed that November 25th would be the Elimination of Violence Against Women Day in honor of the sisters. The UN would then later make it into a national holiday. The sisters will forever be honored for their sacrifice.